Demonstrations have taken place across the world to mark 10 years since the first detainees arrived at Guantanamo Bay. Experts say the detention camp is likely to remain open and in use for several years to come, despite a promise from the Obama administration in Washington more than 2 years ago to close it. The prison still holds 171 detainees, more than half of whom are eligible for release.
It's been described as a place of unspeakable destitution, of torture, abuse and degradation. 10 years ago, the first group of prisoners were flown into the now infamous Guantanamo Bay detention camp in Cuba. Set up by former US President George W. Bush in 2002, the prison was designed to hold and interrogate detainees suspected of terrorist links after 9/11. Muazzam Beg spent 3 years there, 2 of which were in solitary confinement.
This is an anniversary of tragedy, of pain, of torment, of families being ripped apart, of a dark page in the modern history of humanity.
Human rights groups are dismayed that President Barack Obama has failed to close the prison. A new report published by Amnesty International today highlights what the charity says has been a decade of failure by the US to respect human rights.
Guantanamo is an offence to human rights. It's human rights abuses, it's torture, it's enforced disappearances, it's detention. It needs to end, and the Obama administration needs to do what's necessary to make that happen.
Today, Guantanamo holds 171 prisoners, 36 await trial on war crimes charges, including the alleged mastermind of the 9/11 attacks. Few expected the camp would reach this milestone, prompting campaigners across the world to stage demonstrations today, calling for this dark page in modern history to be finally closed. Sinead Hussey, RTE News.